Empathy isn't difficult in leadership. It's a human trait. Everybody has that ability, even you. This is what I wrote in a recent LinkedIn post that ended up being picked up and highlighted by LinkedIn News Australia. Empathy in leadership is something that I feel is really important. All leaders, emerging leaders, need to show empathy at work, and you don't need a degree in psychology to do that. It's a human trait. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it's a human trait. Everybody has that ability, even you. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can show more empathy in the workplace. By the way, I'll also link to the original LinkedIn post that I mentioned. I'll put that in the description below so you can take a look at it, see what others have written about empathy in the workplace, and join in on the conversation. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this every week to help you develop as a leader. So there are 3 keys to showing more empathy in the workplace, and I am positive that once you finish this video, you'll be thinking to yourself, this is really doable, Cara. This isn't really that difficult at all. It's something I can absolutely manage. So the first key is curiosity. So curiosity is wanting to know more about a situation, wanting someone to elaborate more on how they're feeling, wanting to genuinely understand the problem and thinking about how you can go about solving that problem. This is curiosity. It's a genuine need or the genuine desire to want to know more. You're curious about the reasons why. You're curious about the next steps that you can take. Sometimes though, curiosity is hard to practice. It's hard to make time for curiosity in your life, especially when we all have such busy day-to-day lives. We're thinking about what we need to do, our own problems, our own challenges, our own obstacles. We're so focused on ourselves most of the time that we don't make the mental space for other people. And that's really key when you want to show empathy, because empathy is all about the other person, making time for the other person, making the mental space for the other person. And that can be really difficult in our busy day-to-day lives. When you're in the middle of a problem at work and one of your co-workers or people in your team come to you with a problem, you're already stressed, you're already overwhelmed. You might respond to them being really short. You might respond to them in a slightly aggressive way because you simply don't have the mental space in that moment to help them with their problem, to think about why that problem has occurred or how you can overcome it. What's happening here is it's you being in the moment of your problem. But this isn't going to help you show empathy for the other person, because focusing on you and your problems is not how you show empathy. Focusing on the other person, what they're going through, their problems, their struggles, that is how you show empathy. So your focus needs to shift from you and your problems to the other person. If you want to show empathy, you need to be present with that person. You need to be present in that moment with that person, focusing on the person you're talking to, separating you from your problems, focusing on them instead. This is a conscious mindset shift that you need to make if you want to show more empathy in the workplace. And when I say conscious, I mean conscious. You actually have to think to yourself, I'm not going to focus on me and my problems right now. My team member is going through a difficult time. I need to show empathy for them. I need to show them that I care. So I'm going to forget about me just for this moment and focus on them, focus on helping them. This is how you become more curious about that person, curious about their problem, curious about how to solve their problem. And by being curious like this, you show empathy to that person. So leadership takeaway for you: show empathy by being genuinely curious about that person, their problems, their struggles, and wanting to help them. The second key to showing more empathy is listening. And when I say listening, I mean listen to understand, not listen to appear to be listening because you just want to get back to focusing on your problem. Listening to understand takes effort. That's why a lot of people don't do it, because it takes effort. It requires you to make that mindset shift. You need to be present with that person. You need to forget about your problems and focus on them instead. And you will only do all of these things, listen, be present, make that mindset shift, forget about your own problems. You will only do these things if you genuinely care about that person. So do you see how this all links together? You need to genuinely care about the other person you're talking to, the other person who's bringing you this problem or this struggle, and you need to genuinely want to help them. And this is a really important difference between people who listen to understand and those who listen to appear to be listening. Those people who listen to appear to be listening, they don't care. They don't make the time to listen. Therefore, they're not present in that conversation with that person. Therefore, they cannot show empathy. Whereas when you listen to understand, to truly understand what they're saying to you, it's because you care. It's because you want to know what they're saying. You want to understand what they're telling you, and you genuinely want to help them overcome that struggle. You care, therefore you can listen and understand. If you have a child who was hurt in school, they come home and they're telling you what happened during the day, you listen to them, right? You listen to understand. You give them that time. You're present with them. You do all of these things because you care about them. It's exactly the same in leadership. It's exactly the same for people in your team. When you listen to people in your team, when you give them the space to talk, you make them feel important and appreciated. You make them feel that you genuinely care about them as a leader, which in turn increases employee engagement and increases job satisfaction, leading to employees who love working with you and won't want to quit. And bonus, you get the reputation of being an empathetic leader. So do you see how important listening is to show empathy as a leader? Now, if you want tips on listening skills and concretely how you can be a good listener, then you need to watch this video right here. I'll also put it in the description below, where I delve into some really helpful tips on how you can improve your listening skills. So leadership takeaway for you: show empathy by listening to understand because you genuinely want to help that person. And real quick, if you like these leadership takeaway tips I'm including in this video, let me know in the comments below, and that way I can either include them or not include them in future videos. So we've covered curiosity and listening to show empathy. The next thing we need to talk about is asking questions. And in a way, this ties in with the previous 2 points I've talked about. If you're not curious, you won't ask questions. If you don't listen, you won't know what questions to ask. So you absolutely need to have curiosity and listening in order to show empathy. You really need all 3 keys that I'm talking about in this video, but you definitely need the first 2 to make the third one work. When you ask questions to show empathy, those questions must help you uncover and understand something. For example, that sounds like a stressful situation. How did you try to deal with it? It must be tough working with someone like that. What do you think is the next best step? These examples are really powerful because they include 2 important components. Now, the first one is where I say, it sounds like a stressful situation, or that must be tough working with someone like that. By saying it sounds like, or that must be, you are trying to relate to that person. You're trying to show that you are putting yourself in their shoes. You're relating to what they have just said to you. You're expressing how they must feel, which shows that you are recognizing their feelings, which then in turn makes them feel validated. And this is a really, really important part of showing empathy and of asking empathetic questions. People want to feel validated, they want to feel justified, they want to feel that you've heard and understood what they've said to you. Now, the second component that's really important is where I say, how did you deal with that? Or what do you think is the next best step? So these are genuine questions to ask about that person's desires, their plans, their wants, or their needs. This gets them talking. This gets them talking about themselves. This shows that you are listening to them, listening to understand, not listening to just appear to be listening. This helps them feel validated. This helps them feel that you care. And the whole concept of caring and showing that you care is a core concept of empathy. And when we look at the core definition of empathy, this is what we see. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. And this is crucial in leadership. The ability to understand someone, the ability to understand what they're going through, how they're feeling, what they plan to do for the next step. That ability to truly understand is crucial when showing empathy. And also the ability of sharing the feelings of the other person, like we talked about in the previous point, by saying it must be tough, or it seems that you're going through a stressful situation. By showing you recognize their feelings, by putting yourself in their shoes, you're showing that you truly understand the feelings of that person. And that is what empathy is all about. It is something that you can absolutely do. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you don't need a degree in psychology to show empathy at any time. To show empathy in leadership, all you need to be is a human. And you watching are a human. You have human traits. You have a heart. You care about people. You care about people in your team. You can absolutely show empathy in the workplace, and you can absolutely develop the reputation of being an empathetic leader as well. And I really hope that the 3 keys I shared with you in this video have helped you do that, have really helped you to understand that showing empathy is not complicated or difficult at all. All you need to do is to be curious. You need to listen, and you need to ask questions. These are the 3 things, and the only 3 things that you need if you want to show empathy. Final leadership takeaway for you: show empathy by asking questions to uncover and understand. And on the note of asking questions, I know this is something that some people may need training in. You may need some guidance on how to ask good questions and how to ask really deep questions to someone to really get them talking. If that is the case, then you need to watch this video right here, where I delve into that in much more detail. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I truly hope that it has helped you understand all about empathy in leadership, and it's helped you understand how you, as a leader, an emerging leader, can show more empathy with your team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with another video.